Hey, everybody. One person watching. Um, well, I really wanted to have like a nice size box lunch for this edition of my dinner with the Palma. Unfortunately, when you're broke and unemployment still hasn't come through, um, and I don't know if it's gonna come through, I'll get to that in a second. Um, that's probably part of my rant, not my main part of my rant, but heck, I'll throw it in there anyway. But because I didn't get to, you know, because of lack of funds, I didn't get to get like a Jimmy John's or a Penn Station or something like that. I still have something, and I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I have, Diet Mountain Dew. I had to get the cans this time, so they don't have zero sugar in cans, or at least they don't in our neck of the woods. But I've got my drink, my soft drink, and my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Um, and before I eat it, because this is going to be considered my snack and not a dinner. Um, hey, Darren, it's gonna. I'm gonna have to go run in there and take my shot because I time got away from me. I was fooling with stuff with unemployment, and the time creeped up on me to do my stream. And I didn't want to miss my stream, and so I may have to step back in there before I start eating on this and actually stick myself with a shot, so my blood sugar doesn't go way up. But I've got my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and my soft drink. That's going to be my box lunch dinner for this stream or this edition of my dinner with the Palma. And I'm going to attempt, when I start talking about the movies for tonight, to attempt to tie that in with the home movies portion. I did get to watch home movies. I will tell you guys, I'm going to have to go completely on memory for The Fury because I didn't get a chance today to refresh myself on it. So please excuse me if I don't, cover some things that you thought that I would cover. And something dinged over there. So I hope my microphone didn't come unhooked. If you guys can't hear me for some reason, please let me know and I will fiddle with this microphone because sometimes that means something's come unhooked, but I ain't touched anything, so I don't know. And I may have to be waving these down flies away because they're trying to get after my sandwich. One was trying to get on the bread part of my sandwich here just a second ago, and I had to get it out. Uh, but anyways, um, we are going to be covering De Palma's home movies, which is classified as more of a comedy. But I said we were going to cover De Palma films regardless of the genre, which meant I wasn't going to cover just the horror films or just the thrillers or just whatever you want to call them. But we're also going to be covering The Fury, which is more of a horror thriller type of film. Okay. Um, so we've got 3 in here. So I think, now would be a good time to give a little more people a few more minutes to get into the stream for that are more interested in the movie portion of this than hearing me rant about something. So we'll go ahead and get the rant out of the way, and that way, if more people come in here in a few minutes, then they'll be all ready for me to start the movies. Okay. So Darren, if if you're not interested really in hearing my little rant, or the other 2 people that are in here don't care about hearing my rant, feel free to walk away while I'm talking about this. It won't hurt my feelings at all. I won't know the difference. So today has been kind of stressful for me, and it's been Steve's birthday, and I didn't want to be all stressed out when he got home from work. Unfortunately, he had to work on his birthday, but We all have to do that at some point in time. Some of us have to do it every birthday. But um, I've been under stress today because first thing that hit me in the face this morning, and this is a big part of my rant. First thing that hit me in the face this morning is Monday. I mailed out. Somebody had ordered the last drive-in pint glasses. They'd ordered a couple of them from me, and I just lost one person there, so they must have tuned out before I started this. And so Brandon may want to come back here. So hold on. I was trying to pull that door closed so Steve wouldn't hear me back here. I didn't want to disturb Steve. He's finally, I think, watching his 4K of To Kill a Mockingbird, which looks pretty good, by the way. Um, but anyway, I had mailed some of those out to somebody on Monday. And they seem like, because I had to delay the time to get them sent out because I had to go buy some more pint glasses and stuff. And they seemed perfectly, okay with that and thanked me and all that stuff. So I thought, okay, cool. Um, so, I sent them out on Monday. They got them this morning because through the shop app, whenever I mail out something, I get notifications of when it was delivered. So evidently, this person got it at about 9:30 a.m. Eastern time this morning, and evidently, as soon as they opened it up, they were pissed about the quality of them. And instead of, contacting me privately and saying, hey, this wasn't what I was expected. Could you offer me a refund or an exchange or, something? Trying to figure out if Brandon was barking or not. If he starts barking, I'll have to bring him back here with me and pull that door closed. But so instead of doing, oh, hold on, guys. I am so sorry. But if I let him continue to do this, he's going to aggravate people. Brandon, come on. You're going to get to come back here. Daddy doesn't want you bothered. He's trying to watch a movie. Come on. Stop being difficult like this. No, you're not going to go back through there because you're not going to walk. Now lay down. I promise you guys, I'm not being mean to my dog. It's just he doesn't understand that he can't just stand there at the gate going from the kitchen to the living room and just bark at Steve. It's not going to get him anywhere. So anyway, like I said, instead of, allowing me a chance to make it right for them, because I wasn't under the impression that the glasses looked bad when I sent them out. So I got blasted publicly with a bad review. Basically, this person said to never buy from me. They were pissed because they said they didn't know that I was just going to stick stickers on a glass and send them out. I didn't just stick stickers on a glass. I put the stickers on a glass and they were sealed. And I never defrauded anybody or let anybody think that there was any other process that I was doing. And the first guy I sent these glasses to, he was thrilled, and then the second person I sent one to, they waited almost a month and then, contacted me. I mean, they didn't put a bad review out there, but they gave me a 1-star review, but they didn't give me a bad written review. But they waited almost a month, which was way past the time when you could get a refund or exchange, according to my shop policies. So I basically told the guy there wasn't, he had waited too long and there wasn't anything I could do. He claimed that He was hand washing them. I don't know what in the hell else he was doing to them, using a scratcher on them, because he said that the pictures, the artwork on them had almost all come off. He didn't send me any pictures or anything. He just said that. And I politely told him that according to my shop's policies, it was too late for me to offer a refund or exchange. If he had done it earlier, I could have done that. He was asking me, could I help? No, there's not really anything I can do about that. Especially if I don't know, he said he was hand washing, but if he was using a scratcher pad or something like that on there, I don't know. But it still shouldn't have come off, because of the stuff that I was putting on there, which was a kind of clear mod I can't say this, Mod Podge. And I've had my glass that I made for myself use the same process. I've hand washed it for over a year and it's fine. And that's gentle hand washing with a little hot water and dish liquid, and I use, a rag or a sponge or something, and I just clean it out, rinse it out, and dry it off, and it's ready to go. No problems. So I don't know what this guy was doing. And I explained to him that if you're gently hand washing them and not using anything abrasive, then you should be fine. But this guy wasn't nearly as bad as this other person today. But they and what else did and then here's how crazy these people were. They wanted to get on me about how I was packaging the damn glasses. They were angry because I had wrapped them in like bubble wrap envelopes so they wouldn't get broken, mind you, that had my address and the address of my new employer, which I don't think that they're going to care. And I certainly didn't care about my address being on there because my address is on the outside of the damn box. If I cared about that, I wouldn't even have it on the outside of the box. And so they said that at that, they didn't even block out the address on these things that they used other people's packing materials, what they said. And I was like, what in the hell? Why are you going on about this? So I tried to, even though I was angry, I tried to be nice. And I privately messaged them. I did not blast them in public or anything. I privately messaged them and I said, I'm sorry that you're not happy with your purchase. I said, if you had contacted me privately and asked for a refund or an exchange, instead of blasting me publicly with a bad review, I would have tried everything I could do to make it right. And I also explained about the packing material that was used, and all that. And they claimed that the stickers were crumpled up in several places and that they were pissed off. That's how they put it in their review. And I said, well, the glasses looked fine to me when I sent them out. But again, if they were unhappy with the quality of them, why didn't they contact me directly and ask for a refund? Like I said, I would have happily complied with that. But no, they took the nasty route and just flat out gave me a bad review, blasting me and my products. So, I sent that message to them and I sent it privately. Didn't use any curse words. I wasn't derogatory towards them. I tried to be as professional as I could about it. And they sent me a message back and said, I don't want a refund from you. And told me that I was unprofessional and rude. And they didn't care whose addresses were on that shipping material. You shouldn't do stuff like that. And so I asked them, I said, so I said, how was I rude to you? I said, I never said one rude thing to you. And I don't think I'm unprofessional or anything. And they basically sent me something back saying that I was rude because I told them that they blasted me publicly. And how that's rude, I don't know. Um, all the stuff they said was rude, I thought. They also called me a swindler. Um, and so I finally, after that last message they sent me, I'm just like, oh, forget it. Um, and they basically told me to, grow up and accept that people are going to give you bad reviews if you put out bad product or something like that. I did report it to Etsy. I don't know that Etsy's going to do jack with it. But I don't get that. I don't get that mentality. I mean, I know it's out there, but I don't get the insanity of people acting like that all the time. Like, oh, I've been talking to friends and stuff like that, and they say, yeah, it happens all the time. It happens with eBay, it happens with Etsy. People, make false claims, or and this person even showed a picture supposedly of the stickers being crumpled up. I couldn't tell jack from this picture. Um, but I did tell them that even brick and mortar stores like Walmart have imperfections in some of their products. But, are you going to go and like go up against big old Walmart? No, probably not. But the little people, that's the ones you want to slam. So, you know, Brandon Lee, come on, you've got to calm down now. I'm hoping that he will calm down at some point. Like I think I said this the other night, we think he's got dementia. And so he just gets in and I hate to get aggravated with him, but after him walking past me in circles about 100 times, it does get sort of aggravating. And I can't have Steve take care of him because Steve gets aggravated with him and doesn't want to fool with him. And so I have to bring him back here. And then while I'm trying to talk, we got a dog that's click, 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 click on the floor while I'm trying to talk. And I love the dog, I do. But I'm already agitated today, and so this doesn't help. And I wanted to do one of the things that I enjoy doing, and I can't even do that without 50 gazillion interruptions. And I'm sorry, guys, if I seem like I'm just in a pissy mood all around. I don't mean to be. I really don't. Um, Darren, you said that's one of the reasons I hardly sell on eBay. People trying it on all the time to get things cheaper, etc. Not worth the hassle. Yeah, and I'm starting to feel that way, and may try to do. I thought Etsy would just be a fun thing that I could do here and there just to make a little bit of extra money. I wasn't trying to get rich off of it, and it started out, it was just fine. Darcy, the mail girl, she bought a candle from me, and I also sent her some stickers. I talked about that. And the first guy that I sent 2 pint glasses, and he wanted them personalized and all that. And he was just as happy as could be and wrote me a glowing review. And then these next two people, like the one guy, like I said, he waited about a month and contacted me to tell me now the artwork was coming off and could I help, And now this person just went absolutely batshit ballistic. And I don't understand why. Um, and it's kind of weird anyway. They bought them for themselves as a gift because when I printed out the invoice like stuff and the packing list, it said, and this person's name was Billy, and I think it's a girl. I don't think it's a guy, but anyway, it says a gift for you from Billy. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you give a gift to yourself? So that seems kind of weird, but it got even weirder all the time. So I don't know. So what I did was I told Steve I was going to not do the pint glasses, not do any mugs, not do any tumblers or any of that type of stuff on the Etsy shop until I can come up with a new process. And that new process is going to be heat sublimation. And to do that, I'm going to have to get a printer that will take sublimation ink. And these are inkjet printers, which I don't really like because they run out of ink so fast. And I much prefer the laser printers and all that. But seems to be the only way I can do it like this. And then the other thing that you have to get is a heat press that will do heat sublimation. And so that's going to be in the spring or summer, because I asked Steve if it would be okay if I put a separate printer out in the garage and use it out in the garage. And he said, well, you might want to keep it covered up, keep dirt, dust, and other things that are flying around from getting in it. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He said, he said, can you please wait until we get the garage cleaned up and then we can, and I said, yeah, I can wait until then. I mean, I want to get a few paychecks under my belt before I do that. So if any of you get on my Etsy shop and say, oh, what happened to the pint glasses? What happened to the tumblers? What happened to the mugs? And that kind of stuff. That's just temporarily on hold until I get a new process, because 2 complaints, one of them completely wigging out on me, was enough to make me pull them from my shop just for now until I come up with the different process to do. So, the t-shirts are still on there. The stickers are still on there. The candles are still on there. Both the horror candles and the last drive-in candles. So, you guys can, all partake of that if you would like. So, that was one thing that happened today. And my unemployment still hasn't went through. When I checked on the claim today, it said it's in the fact-finding stage, which is a fancy term for saying it's under investigation. So, they're not asking me for any more information. If they wanted to ask me more information, why are they just sitting on it? Why don't they just ask me? And I heard that Kentucky changed their verbiage on the unemployment site from under investigation to fact-finding stage, because under investigation sounds like you've done something wrong. Well, hell yeah, it sounds like you've done something wrong, but fact-finding is not much better. I mean, it doesn't take much to figure out that they're still reviewing it for some reason. For me, I don't understand why. I dotted my I's, I crossed my T's, I did everything. So, and I'm flat broke now, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Steve says he'll help me out, but I've been hearing that since the beginning. And it always comes with a price when somebody helps you, some emotional price comes with that promise of help. So I don't put too much stock in that. And my parents have already sent me money. They can't send me any more. I mean, I'm not going to go begging and asking. I really thought I had a good chance of getting this unemployment. Now, I think either it's going to be stuck in limbo for months, or I'm not going to get it at all. So, and then the other thing is, and guys, I promise I'm going to get to the movies. I do, I promise. The other thing is the HR department for Smile Doctors. And I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying they're kind of disorganized with this remote stuff. And I know it's new to all of them, but when you expect a form to be at their offices in Texas by my third day on the job, and you're just now before a holiday telling me that I have to have an I-9 form filled out, which is your employment eligibility to work in the United States, basically. And the UK and other places like that may have they may have something called an I-9 form or some kind of similar form, which normally when you work at a business, and it's a business that you're physically going to be going to, on your first day of work, you will provide the documents that they want, usually like a social security number and an ID or driver's license. Okay. But because I'm working remotely, I have to I now have to fill out the top portion of an I-9 form, which I've filled out my part, but I also have to take it to a notary in person, and have them fill out the second part saying that they have viewed the documents that I have, my social security number and my state ID. Okay. And then I have to send it back into them. And I said, well, how do I need to send it? Do I need to mail it? You need to give me the address. I said, can I fax it to you too? I just want to make sure these people get this. I don't want to wait 3 days in the job and say, oh, sorry, you don't have a job because we never got that I-9 form. So then I had to drop that on Steve as soon as he come in the door, almost, that, hey, I got to go see a notary. And I was told that the banks, usually they'll notarize stuff for free. So I've got an appointment set up to go to the nearest Chase Bank that's not all booked up. And hopefully I'll be able to get somewhere with that. The other option is to go to the UPS store here in town on Bardstown Road and have it done there. But then I asked how I need to send it to them. And first the guy tells me, send it as a password protected email. You can do that in Word or Adobe. And I was like, okay, that would work good if I had a scanner at home. And I told the guy, I said, I don't have a scanner at home. Steve said, well, take a picture of it with your phone. I said, I don't think that's going to work in this case. So he did eventually give me a fax number and said to let him know if that doesn't work. It's like, dude, that's what I wanted to say. Dude, I'm down to the wire on this. You guys waited until the last minute, right before the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm supposed to start work on Monday. You want me to have all this to you by my third day on the job. And you want me to monkey around with all this stuff. I don't want to play around with this stuff. I don't want to lose this job that I worked hard to get over some damn paperwork. I don't have time to be saying, oh, hey, your fax number didn't work, dude. I don't have time to waste. I don't even know what things are going to be open come Friday. I know nothing's going to be open that I can do it at on Thursday because that's Thanksgiving. And I know Steve doesn't want to do it, and that's just an aggravation too for him. And it makes me feel bad because I feel like I'm making him do all this stuff. And, and it's, so that's the way it's been all day. It's just been one thing right after the other. And I try to remain positive and all that stuff, but it's just like too many things hit me at one time. I'm worried about the money situation. I'm worried about getting the I-9 form. I know I shouldn't worry what somebody thinks that bought an Etsy product. I shouldn't let that bother me. But all of that stuff combined just wore me completely out. And to top it off, I still haven't made my bread, my apple bread, my pumpkin bread to take to my mom's. So I'm probably going to have to make sure that I get off here in plenty of time so it's not midnight and I'm making bread in the kitchen. But I did really want to do the stream. I promised you guys I would do the stream. And I said that I would do it on Wednesday because I usually do them on Thursdays, but Thursdays is Thanksgiving. So, all right. So now, with all that out of the way, hey, Texas. So with all that out of the way, I am going to go and take my insulin shot real quick, and then I am going to get to the movies at hand and eat my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and keep sipping on my soft drink. But I will be right back. Okay. All right, guys. So now we're ready to get to the movies finally. Usually it takes me about half an hour to get through all my rants and all that and housekeeping stuff and all that. And so what we're going to do first is I'm going to see first if I can find in a trailer for home movies. And it really doesn't seem like we have a trailer for it. So I guess I can't really show you one unless I can find one. Hold on just a second, guys. Might be another way. Sorry, guys, to be so unorganized. Yeah, that's the movie. Okay. Well, I do apologize, guys. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Yeah, Texas, I did try the Palma Home Movies and trailer and all that, and it didn't seem to work. So I'm going to do my best to describe this movie and also try to help you guys understand um, the dinner portion of this live stream, which is a box lunch. Um, hey, 71. Um, so, anyway, before I get into the movie, let me explain the dinner portion, which again, I have peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a soft drink. That is the contents of my box lunch, basically, which I am going to take a bite of this. Due to financial concerns, I was not able to get something from Penn Station or Subway or Jersey Mike's or any of those places. So, I hope for those of you that wanted to participate in that dinner portion or this dinner portion, you were either able to get you some kind of sandwich and chips combo thing or to do like I did or, have an apple with it or whatever. Um, so, the reason why I picked that is because the home movies portion of this stream, that movie has a lot of picnic lunches and actually has a lot of scenes dealing with food. And the picnic scene is the main reason I picked the box lunch type of thing because I thought, well, we could go the picnic route, but the picnic route usually entails having a bunch of food packed into a picnic basket, usually for several people. So I thought, well, let's just do the box lunch and I'll, I'll make that work. So that's the little explanation for the dinner portion of this stream and home movies. So, home movies basically, it pretty much stars Keith Gordon, who I absolutely love Keith Gordon. And I will say, in my opinion, this is one of De Palma's weaker films. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but it's just, to me, it wasn't very good plot wise. It was a little bit too wacky for me. So it's definitely not one of my favorite De Palma movies. I didn't ever think I would say that about some of his movies, and this may be the case with all of his more comedic movies. Um, and also there were some elements. I'm going to talk about these elements. One in particular that I don't understand really why that was thrown in there. It was almost like a horror element that was thrown into a comedy that's not really a horror comedy or anything like that. Um, 71, did you find the movie or did you find the trailer? Because I was unable to find the trailer. But I did watch the movie on YouTube. Darren, you say, I've not seen these two films. I've been meaning to watch The Fury. Interested in your reviews, though. Okay. Well, I'll try not to give anything telling away in these because I'm sure you're not the only one that hadn't seen home movies. Um, Texas, you say The Fury is awesome, Darren. Okay. 71, you said the movie. 71, you said Kirk Douglas is a creeper. Kirk Douglas is in this movie as well. So let's get to the movie, shall we? So, as I said, it pretty much stars Keith Gordon. He's like the main part of this movie. And boy, does Keith Gordon have a weird family in this movie. Because Garrett Graham, who's in a lot of, he played Beef in Phantom of the Paradise. And I think he's been in several of De Palma's movies in different roles. But he plays Keith Gordon's brother in this movie. He plays his brother James. And I'm guessing he's like an older brother, but he's not a very nice brother. I'll say that. And he's not a very nice boyfriend either. Because and the family is screwed up in other ways besides his brother James. Um, the mother is seems to be very neurotic, and I guess in some ways she has a reason to be neurotic and want to leave the marriage and all that. Is because her husband is a doctor and he's basically tries to put the moves on any woman that he's around, including his nurses or patients that come to see him. All that he's very touchy feely, you know, in a creepy sort of way. When 71 mentioned Kirk Douglas being a creeper, he kind of is odd in this movie. But if I was really to say who the creeper was, I would say that it's Keith Gordon's character's dad. That guy is a creeper. Hey TJ, you say partly off topic. Garrett Graham is in Shopping Mall. Yes, he is. And Garrett Graham's also in Child's Play 2. Um, we could probably find Garrett Graham in a lot of different movies. But yes, he is in Shopping Mall. Texas, you say at 71, he definitely is and was in real life. But so anyway, the movie kind of goes in and out of like different points of view. It kind of starts out with Kirk Douglas's character as the maestro. That's what they refer to him as, the maestro. And it's like he's teaching a class on filmmaking. And he's kind of rough around the edges, if you, if you want to know the truth. And kind of weird and stuff. But then he says he's going to show the class um, a young man, or he says, I'm going to show you an airport terminal. And he talks about a camera had been set up to take shots like every few minutes for so many days or whatever. And he's showing them on these slides. And he says, do you notice anything peculiar as these slides progress? And then he kind of zooms in on Keith Gordon's character sitting on his suitcase in the middle of this airport terminal. And evidently he's been sitting there for days. So then the maestro basically starts talking about Keith Gordon's character and how it was like a missed opportunity, how he tried to help this young man with his career, and how he never was able to put himself into his movies, and that's where he failed. Okay, so then we go into Keith Gordon, and the maestro pops up every once in a while, trying to help him out. But at every turn, he has trouble. He's trying to get his mom to calm down. He's trying to get his dad not to hit on women. And by hit, I don't mean punch. I mean, sexually, he's trying to hit on them all the time. And then slowly over time, he comes to the conclusion that I can't get my dad to stop. And so I've got to catch my dad in the act, um, so that, he can hopefully, come to some realization he's got to do something about his problem, or, the whole family's just going to leave. And basically, his mother pays no attention to him. She's all about James, his older brother, played by Garrett Graham. It's James this and James that, and I don't need anybody else's help but James. I need James. She's always crying. She needs James. But James is an asshole, basically. James is an asshole to everybody. And I don't know what this group is he's got. They dress like they're Boy Scouts or something, but they're all like grown. And he's always teaching them how to be a man or something like that, how to survive in life. And it's like, where in the hell does this guy get his ideas? Because they're completely off the wall. And he treats women like shit too. Because Nancy Allen plays his girlfriend in the movie. And he's supposed to be marrying her. And then all of a sudden, he says, basically, the wedding's off if you don't pass this test. And so the test is a series of temptations: drugs, sex, food, things like that. And if she passes all of these temptations and doesn't give in to them, and then James will marry her. If she doesn't, the wedding is off. And Nancy Allen's character comes into the movie as a sweet, fairly innocent looking girl. But over time, we learned that, yeah, she's a nice person, but she's got some problems. Evidently, she has addictions to drugs, she has addictions to food, she has addictions to sex. And so, in essence, she passes all of this stuff. But this is where things get really crazy, as if they haven't gotten crazy already. It turns out there's one more thing about Nancy Allen's character that we haven't discovered. And that is, she used to do some kind of erotic act with a bunny puppet, a rabbit puppet. And you're beginning to wonder after a while, is she schizo or something? Because there's this whole conversation she has with that damn puppet where she's got the puppet on her hand and she's talking to it and it's talking to her, but it's obvious that her voice is doing both of them. It's not like this puppet is alive by itself, but it's like she believes the puppet is alive. And it almost seems to rip her clothes off, trying to attack her sexually, and says they need to go back out on the road and all that stuff. The act needs to start up again. And there's this picture that she has wanted to keep hidden of her. And this is on the movie poster. It was on the movie poster, that part of what I used for the advertising for this stream, where she's in a very erotic costume and she's got that damn puppet on her hand. This picture surfaces within the movie, and it's like something that she wants to keep hidden. And, things just go completely out of control until you're not sure who is going to survive with their sanity by the end of this movie. Okay? So I'm not going to give away everything about this movie because, like I said, I know Darren hasn't seen it. There may be some more of you that have not seen it. Maybe all of you in here have not seen home movies. I had never seen home movies before watching it on YouTube. This movie came out in 1979. It is, like I said, it's listed as a comedy. I can give you a little bit of a plot synopsis for this because, like I said, this is not a movie I own. I'd always seen it listed in De Palma's movies, but never watched. Um, so basically, in a nutshell, and this movie is only PG too, um, and it's an hour and 30 minutes, 1979 release. So Keith Gordon, who's the main guy in this, is a creative young man who films the oddball doings of his family and peers. The maestro, played by Kirk Douglas, appears frequently to give him pointers on his techniques. It's almost a film about a young man making the film. So, um, and I didn't realize that Teresa Saldana was in this movie. And I'm thinking, also didn't know she had died. Um, let's see if this is the same. I'm pretty sure it is. Um, yes, Teresa Teresa Saldana, who died in 2016. I didn't even realize she had. Um, and she was only 61, so she was pretty young. Teresa Saldana was an actress who was attacked um, when she was very young. Um, and she died on my birthday in 2016. Um, and she was in the Beatles movie, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Not a movie with the Beatles in it, but a movie about the Beatlemania, pretty much. Um, and she was in other television series and movies and things like that. She was also on All My Children back in 1970, uh, or actually 1997. I'm sorry. Um, but anyway, she got attacked, I think, and stabbed several times or something by this guy who became obsessed with her. But anyway, I didn't even realize that she was on this movie. I guess I just didn't pay close enough attention. Um, but Kirk Douglas, like I said, is in it. Vincent Gardenia plays uh, Keith Gordon's father in this movie, and Keith Gordon plays Dennis in this movie. Garrett Graham, of course, plays James. Nancy Allen plays Christina. I'm trying to get rid of these stupid bugs. I was trying to look and see if there were any other people that names that are familiar. Um, and it was referred to by one user on IMDb as an eccentric comedy, which that's a pretty good explanation of this movie, an eccentric comedy. Um, 71, you say you haven't seen it. Yes, 71. That is exactly the impression that I had. Not that it could put me to sleep. I did manage to stay, engaged with it, but it is not the normal De Palma film by any stretch of the imagination. TJ said, just watched Black Friday with Bruce Campbell last night. Off topic again. LOL. No, that's cool when you're bringing up Bruce Campbell. Texas, you say, I thought that was pretty decent, TJ. TJ, you say 3 out of 5 stars from me, Texas. Enjoyable mostly. Well, 3 out of 5's pretty good, I think. See, there you go with the trivia. I did not know what she died of. You say she died of pneumonia. Don't know if there was something else that led to that. She was in a Dark Side episode called Black Widows. Yes, she certainly was. She certainly was. And I thought she was an excellent actress. I loved her and I Want to Hold Your Hand. I thought that was just fantastic. Probably one of her best roles. TJ, you said, well, I had to look that one up about the cause of death. LOL. Shh, you're not supposed to tell your secrets. You're supposed to, oh, yeah, I already knew that. um, so, again, as 71 said, this is not your normal De Palma movie. I would advise everyone to keep that in mind if you are thinking about watching it. I'm not saying that some people wouldn't find it enjoyable, but compare with his other films, it is to me a weak link. Some people say that Phantom of the Paradise is out there and kooky and all of that, but I think Home Movies has that one beat. Um, and even though this had Keith Gordon in it, and I love Keith Gordon, I really don't think Keith Gordon was given enough uh, interesting material to work from. I mean, I think Keith Gordon was awesome and Dressed to Kill. I think they gave him the right amount of stuff to do in that movie. He was a main character in this movie and just really seemed to be moving from scene to scene without really pushing the plot along that much. And I don't think that was Keith Gordon's fault. I think that was the material that he was given to work with that was at fault. And I maybe I just don't understand that kind of humor from De Palma. Maybe that's it. But I did understand humor like in Carrie, where they sped up the film and things like that. I mean, I got that, even though a lot of people would consider that quirky. Um, I don't think that this movie is going to work for a lot of De Palma fans. I really don't. I'm not. I'm not upset that I watched it. That I spent 90 minutes watching it. But I really don't think it's going to be a movie that I'm just going to rush back out and go back out and watch it. If I want to watch a De Palma film or rewatch a De Palma film, I'm more than likely going to go back to Carrie or Obsession or Dress to Kill, Blowout, or The Fury, the second film I'm going to talk about here in a little bit. But, um, off the wall comedy, some of those I like. And again, I did not hate this one. I did not hate it. Um, but I can't see myself, like I said, rushing back out to watch it again anytime soon. I watched it. I was glad that I watched it. Um, but it's not one that is an outstanding piece of De Palma work for me. But because it's for free on YouTube, I say go ahead and watch it and make your own determinations and your own decisions about it. Don't just take my word for it. That these are only my opinions based on watching the film one time. He say I'm mostly honest, TJ. Actually, he said, "Fuck, what I miss." Not a whole lot, really. I ranted about Etsy about somebody giving me a bad review without giving me a chance to make it right, and talking about unemployment money that I haven't gotten yet, and I-9 forms that I got to fill out for the new job and all that. So you missed all that, but you didn't really miss anything extra. And now I'm talking about home movies, which again, you really haven't missed a whole lot, X-Ray. You could probably go back and, skip the part about me ranting on about Etsy shops and I-9 forms and unemployment and all that, and just listen to me talk about home movies. Let's see. So when you say, I think it would give me oddball night terrors. It might, especially the stuff with the bunny puppet. Actually, you say we haven't gotten to the Fury yet, right? Nope. I have not gotten to that yet. Actually, you said Keith Gordon kind of looks like Brian De Palma these days. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Hey, Uncle Bill, you say sup, Daner. Not a lot other than doing this this live stream. Darren, you say people are going to feel the same watching Argento's 5 days in Milan. Yeah, I kind of get that idea too. X-Ray, you said I missed all the angry Daner talk. Well, you can go back and rewatch that part if you want to, but you don't have to. So that's just going to move us in to talking about the Fury. Again, I did not get a chance to rewatch that before this stream, so please excuse me if it seems a little stilted in my descriptions of it. You guys feel free to throw stuff in there as you wish, especially if I don't cover something you're like, gee, I thought Dana would have brought that up. Okay. 71, you said the Fury is amazing. The book is better than the movie. Again, 71, yes, I totally agree. Even though I haven't read the book, The Fury, I would like to. But like I always say, 9 times out of 10, the book is going to be better than the movie. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. In my case, the only time it was ever the reverse for me was with Forrest Gump. And I just think the majority of that issue was Tom Hanks plays that part so beautifully. Whatever you may think about Tom Hanks, I think he's an amazing actor, very accomplished actor. And really, I don't think Tom Hanks gets enough credit. I know we're not talking about this in Tom Hanks Appreciation Night. I know, I get that. But I always think of that when people say the book is better than the movie, because I always used to say that. And that was before Forrest Gump came along. And it may also have been because I watched the movie before I read the book. But I just think that Forrest Gump was encapsulated so well by Tom Hanks. He played that so well. And then when I read the book, it was kind of a letdown because Forrest Gump was, he cussed a lot. He was not this, he didn't seem to be this man child like he was in the movie, the very innocent man child. So he cussed a lot. He talked about things like playing with his genitals. He called himself a mongoloid. It's just, on and on and on. And that the book was filled with things like that. And so the book kind of turned me off. But the way Tom Hanks played Forrest Gump, it was like an innocent man child, seeing the world through different eyes. Or, in some cases, seeing the United States through different eyes, seeing these different time periods in history through different eyes, and seeing it in ways that not everybody else saw it. I did not get that from the book. Actually, you said Forrest Gump was like, oh, Curly Jaws in the book. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But so anyway, let's talk about the Fury. So probably I can find a trailer for the Fury. So let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So give me just a second, guys. I'm going to share my screen. So if you guys can bear to...
Hi. Oh, what you got there? All right, go get it. When it comes to lasting relationships, we're thinking of every mile. The new Hyundai Tucson. It's your journey.
Yeah, here we go. Hold on.
told you I didn't have to touch you to hurt you.
Okay, please stop.
In addition to all the cameras getting different angles of John Cassavetes, we had one from the ceiling.
Hopefully we'll have another trailer that
Cassavetes
doesn't
says
have
to me,
all this stuff
Aren't you glad you didn't
interspersed.
bother going to acting school for this?
I think it's one of De Palma's better films and certainly underrated.
You put in what's known as cobalt blue contact lenses. I said, sure, why not? And I've been trying to cut it out of the film ever since, but he won't let go of it.
It's about trust and devotion and betrayals.
So I had some truth to bring to the role that I could relate to and believe in it.
Faster!
Okay, I'm not sure what it's going to show us, but I'm going to enter my birth year in here. Hopefully it's not going to show us anything pornographic or anything. I don't think this is... So I don't know if... Yeah, this is definitely not the Fury. I don't know what this is. I'm wondering if I can find a better one on... Usually I don't strike out that bad with finding these trailers. Okay, here we go. I found one on YouTube that's better. So let's do this, guys. I think that this would be a better trailer, I think, than that Arrow video thing with the TJ said, was that a mob movie? What was this music yellow? I know, it's like crazy. It's like the that music for that Carrie thing. But anyways, hold on here. Share screen. All right, guys. So hold on here. Here we go. Well, maybe. Here we go.
What do you mean? Well, you did not.
There are no secrets between father and son, except one.
You have a talent that would shock the hell out of people. But it's a talent that also can be put to good use.
For lovers of the shocking, the suspenseful, and the terrifying comes a new classic, The Fury.
Read my mind. Look, I don't know anything about reading minds, all right?
The Fury, an experience in terror and suspense.
They took my son away from me. They needed him, so they just took him. What the hell have you done to that boy?
Oh, he's being treated like a prince. He's royalty, unique.
Chinese don't have one. Soviets don't have one. In all the world, there's no one quite like Robin Sands. Unless it's this girl.
Who's Robin Sands? He's a boy your age. With powers like yours.
Powers that build. And build. Until they become the Fury.
I want Gillian Belliver at the PSI facility tomorrow. It's a frightening power these people have. They can make anybody disappear anytime. She's a fake. I'm sending her home. I don't have time to waste on people. Don't do that to me, Doctor. Don't ever try lying to me.
Gillian? Where's Robin now, Gillian? What's the matter, Robin?
You know what's the matter.
Stop, Gillian!
The girl's taking my place after you poisoned me.
The Fury is the power that holds the key to all power.
There, I was lying before. Robin's not okay. He needs us now.
For lovers of the shocking,
Robert?
the suspenseful,
Please answer me.
and the terrifying comes a new classic. 20th Century Fox presents a Frank Yablon's presentation.
Should recognize your old man.
The Fury. The Fury, a Brian De Palma film. An experience in terror and suspense.
All right. So that was a much better trailer. Actually, you say Kirk Douglas was like 80 years old in that flick, but was playing football, wielding AKs, and having sex scenes with women half his age. Darren, you say it looks like Scanners. Yeah, I used to get this a little bit confused with Scanners. You know, like some of the scenes that I'd be thinking, did this happen in Scanners or did this happen in The Fury? Actually, you said this came out before Scanners. Texas, you say Cassavetes is great in this. I never liked Charles Durning. I think the movie that turned me off of Cassavetes, just because he played that so good, that character so good and so well and so unlikable, was Rosemary's Baby, where he played the husband. And now I cannot look at John Cassavetes the same way again. My thoughts on Charles Durning is he's another one that I think he was a really good actor, but I think his performances were a little uneven. You know, I liked him really well in certain things and not so well in other things. TJ, you said The Fury. Throw Carrie, Firestarter, Scanner, and Kramer versus Kramer into a blender. I definitely, I didn't think of Kramer versus Kramer, but Scanners, Firestarter, and Carrie. Yes, I definitely think of all of those movies. X-Ray, you say, I watched this first on Joe Bob's Monster Vision. He said De Palma was someone you either love or hate. Yeah, but I guess I'm not, you know, I'm not in that love-hate relationship with De Palma movies. I'm just in I like most of them, but just like you throw home movies in there and I'm like, this does not seem like De Palma. It really does not seem like De Palma. TJ said, well, De Palma stole from himself, so this is like Carrie too, LOL. I guess stealing from yourself is better than stealing from somebody else, though, right? X-Ray, you say, Cassavetes was such a slime ball in The Fury too. Yeah. Darren, you say, I can see the Carrie influence for sure. TJ, you say, I was trying to think of a movie with a father and son. LOL. I got you. X-Ray, you say, to me, The Fury is a spiritual sequel to Carrie in terms of movies. Like, if Carrie was some big city girl who attended an expensive school. Yep. It feels like De Palma was channeling Spielberg, especially in the music. 71, you said Cassavetes is a good-looking slime ball. Yeah, unfortunately. But let me give you a little bit of a plot synopsis for The Fury. In case, like Darren said, he hasn't seen The Fury, so so this came out in 1978. It is a little bit longer than home movies at an hour and 58 minutes. So the basic stories is, and this is listed as a horror, sci-fi, and a thriller, which I would pretty much agree with that. So a former CIA agent uses the talents of a young psychic to help retrieve his telekinetic son from terrorists who want to use his mental powers for evil. So the former CIA agent is Kirk Douglas, and he wants to use Amy Irving's character to get his telekinetic son back from these evil people that want to misuse his powers. So, in that way, it is very much like Firestarter, because Firestarter, concerns a couple who were guinea pigs in this drug trial in the 60s. And they were given something called Lot 6. This gave them powers. Andy, the husband, got the power to make people, to push people, as they say, and to make them do things that they wouldn't normally do unless he told them to. But this comes at a price, because his nose bleeds, and they say in the movie that he's given himself pinprick hemorrhages in the brain, and if he overdoes it too many times, it could kill him. His wife gets powers to evidently read people's minds. They produce a daughter who is able to start fires. And this experiment was carried out by the shop. And I know we're not talking about Firestarter, but I'm trying to link this with the Fury. So the shop wants this little girl back because they think that she would be a great weapon to use against other countries. So in that way, this is similar to the Fury, because the shop ends up kidnapping Charlie in Firestarter, the little girl. And so when the former CIA agent's son with the telekinetic powers is basically kidnapped and kind of forced against his will to use his powers, the father is willing to do anything he can to get his son back, even going so far as to use a girl with similar powers to allow him to get his son back. So there's a lot of, people, bleeding from the nose, and raising people up in the air, and in a way, you see kind of, even though this came out before Scanners, perhaps Scanners kind of copied that part. The veins in the head of the young boy are kind of flexing out when he's using his powers. That's something that was not detailed in Carrie. And Carrie had telekinesis, but basically in Carrie, it was just a matter of her moving her head and her eyes like that, and doing things like shutting doors, shutting windows, flipping cars over and making them explode. all of that. But in this movie, it's taken a little bit further where you actually see some physical manifestations in the person that has these powers. And so Amy Irving kind of gets to do a 360, 180, whatever you want to call it, where she goes from being, oh God, here's more of this stupidness. Sorry guys, didn't mean to show that. I'm just trying not to block somebody else inadvertently. Okay. So Amy Irving's character, she was Sue Snell in Carrie. She was the nice girl. She was somebody that tried to help Carrie. And in The Fury, she is one of the people with the power. And we don't just have one person with the power in the movie. We have at least two that we know of. Okay. And hey, Milelect. And so I really, this is like Carrie times two. Because you've got two characters with these powers. And there is essentially, I think it's the scene with Fiona Lewis, where the young man who gets kidnapped. Oh, in here. I think it's Andrew Stevens, but I want to be sure here. Yeah, Andrew Stevens, who plays Robin in the movie. I think it's in a scene with Fiona Lewis, and he basically causes Fiona Lewis to rise up in the air, and she's bleeding out her nose and all that. And that is an incredible scene. And very creepy and suspenseful, thrilling, whatever you want to call it. But not only do we have Fiona Lewis in this movie, and Andrew Stevens and Amy Irving, all those people, and Kirk Douglas, but Rotania Alda is in this. William Finley, who we talked about in Phantom of the Paradise as well. He plays Raymond in this movie. Charles Darning's in this movie. John Cassavetes, Carrie Snodgrass. I mean, there's a lot of big names in this movie. And I really think that this movie, the atmosphere is fantastic. This was another one that is a great representation of Brian De Palma's talent as a director, and as a director of, thrillers or horror films, things of that nature. I think that those genres are where his strengths lie. I don't feel like De Palma's strengths lie in comedies. And I think that's why home movies didn't, in my opinion, stand up to the test, like The Fury does, or like Carrie does, or Obsession, or Blowout, or Dress to Kill, all those types of movies. Even some of his later movies like Raising Cain, Scarface, stuff like that. X-Ray, you say, this is probably Amy Irving's most famous role. Thinking about it, she never really got bigger. No, and I think that's sad. And part of that may have been her that just didn't have an interest in going any bigger than she was. But I would have liked to have seen other things that Amy Irving could have done later on. And I don't think at this point we're going to get to see that. X-Ray, you say, I'm a sucker for psychic films like this. Scanners always gets the hype, but a ton of movies ripped off The Fury, especially the anime movie Akira. Now, I've never seen the anime movie Akira. I haven't seen much anime, period. But I could totally imagine that. Um, TJ said, by the way, that slow-mo scene is rather comical. The look on the woman's face after she runs into the dude and knocks him over, LOL. X-Ray, you said, this came out during that whole paranormal zeitgeist of the 70s and 80s when Amityville and Time Life supernatural books were all the rage. Exactly. Darren, you say, I remember the Fury playing on UK TV back in the day. Not sure why I never tuned in, though. I have the old DVD, so I got to get onto that. Yeah, the DVD is the only thing that I have. And I was planning on, getting the DVD out and giving myself a refresher. But just watching that trailer and stuff kind of jog my memory a little bit more. So although I don't think I'm doing as well as I would have if I had refreshed myself on the entire movie, I think I'm doing better than I thought I would do with this one. TJ, you say she married Spielberg for a time. She had that good divorce money. Maybe so. Maybe that's what it was. X-Ray, you say if they had done a 70s remake of Suspiria in America, Amy Irving would have been a great Susie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she would have. But so out of the two movies I talked about tonight, I definitely would have to say that The Fury is the stronger of these. And I'm kind of, I don't know if there's any of you in here that have watched home movies, but I think if you do watch it, I think you're definitely going to see that the case for The Fury kind of stands on its own merit. I mean, I might be surprised. Some of y'all might watch home movies and think it's great and, don't understand why I don't really go for that sort of thing. In my case, I didn't hate it. Like I said before, I don't hate it. But it's not a movie I see myself returning to often. And the other movies that I've talked about, including The Fury tonight, are movies that I definitely see myself going back to many, many times and watching them. I just don't think that home movies has enough to hold it together, to make it cohesive storytelling or any of that. I just don't think it's quality De Palma. And, I said I plan to go back and watch some of those earlier movies that he made that were primarily listed as comedies, Greetings, Hi Mom, stuff like that. We're basically going to cover everything De Palma related, except maybe some shorts or something like that. And by shorts, I mean short films, not shorts you wear. Well, Red, dude, I'm not going to get in an argument with you on here on my streams. All I can tell people is if you're not liking the content of the live streams, you don't have to come in here. I'm not going to get ugly about this, but you did say, I noticed that you repeat one's comment and go into depth and deep detail when answering their comment. That might be why some of the streams are 3 or more hours. I mean, if you don't like the 3 or more hours, I mean, you can tune out. I mean, that's all I can tell you. But coming in here and making a comment like that doesn't really serve any purpose other than for me to make the comment that I did. I mean, if you like the streams, come be in here, listen to me talk about them, but please don't criticize me and how I do my streams. Because they're my streams. If you want to do your streams, that's cool. But that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to get into a fight with anybody on here. But you have made several comments about that over time, and this one kind of really pushed my button, so I had to stop and say something. X-Ray, you say, Dana, you ever see Lucio Fulci's Conquest? I watched it recently. Shit was baller. I did. I did watch Lucio Fulci's Conquest, X-Ray. I did. I watched it. I think for the first time when Uncle Bill wanted me to be on his Tuesdays with Fulci stream, and that was one that he was covering. And so yeah, I watched. I thought it was entertaining, wild and crazy at times, but entertaining in and of itself. But yeah, I could really understand you calling it baller. I mean, it's an entertaining film. There's no doubt about that. X-Ray, you say his early comedies were sort of like Robert Downey Sr.'s movies, just not as good in my humble opinion. Yeah, I just don't think that was De Palma's forte. X-Ray, you say Daniel's best streams are the ones that run 6+ hours. Have I had any that ran 6 hours? X-Ray. I know there was one where I did, it may have been a watch along too that ran over 5 hours, but that was because we were talking before and after the movie. So yeah, if you like the long ones, cool. I mean, and there, like I told Red, there's, I mean, if you want to be in here, awesome, but don't force yourself to stay in here and get irritated and then make, kind of biting comments to me like that while I'm doing my stream. So that's just all I was trying to say. Darren, you said Fulci is one of my favorite directors, but I don't go back and see his early comedies. Yeah, and like I said, I don't envision myself going back and watching home movies anytime soon as one of De Palma's comedies. Hey, Dirk. TJ, you say, X-Ray, I could never step for 6 hours in regular life. Haha. I mean, I know, Dirk, refresh my memory. How long did you guys go on, you and Pop and the other guys, with some of those? Hell, you might still be doing them, but I thought y'all were done doing them. But, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't y'all go on quite a while when y'all were talking about your favorite movies from certain decades and all that? Dougie says, shit, I'm usually on live streams for at least 5 hours and every comment gets read. Some are more in depth, just depends on the question. Yeah, I mean, I try to catch everybody's comments. And I really wouldn't, I didn't mean to hurt Red's feelings, but that kind of hurt my feelings for him to put that, like, to come in the stream live and criticize somebody when you can just as easily if you don't like what's being talked about or how long something's being talked about, you can skip on out, and I won't know the difference. I got 12 people in here now. I'm not going to know the difference, so one person leaves. I don't know who that person is. Doug, you say, yes, we have one to go. Top 5 from 75 to 70. Gotcha. Okay. So, guys, I have, I think I've talked about the two movies, all I can talk about, but technically I could stay on here for a few more minutes or on up till 10 if you guys want to. If you want to, ask me anything or comment or give me suggestions for upcoming watch alongs, upcoming streams, all of that. But I did want to announce the next two movies I'm going to be covering. Which, sorry guys, I did those out of order. I meant to cover The Fury first and then home movies, but I hope you guys will forgive me because The Fury was actually 78 and home movies was 79. But the next two movies I'm going to be covering are Dressed to Kill and Blowout. And I know that Darren did express an interest in being on the stream with me for that one. That will be next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Now, hopefully I won't be late, guys. I think the latest I may have to work at this new job is like 6. But things could change. But if I'm a little bit late, just bear with me because I'm just getting my feet. I'll be just getting my feet wet with this new job. Next week is my first week. I'm sure I'm going to have some training and whatnot, all that good stuff that comes with a new job. But I will definitely be doing it at some point in time. I'm planning on 8 p.m. Eastern time at this point. If I'm let in on something beforehand and the time has to change, I will be sure to let you guys know. And so Darren's saying, yes, count me in for that one. I did see Blowout again a few days ago to get ready. I did see Blowout pretty recently too, and Dressed to Kill, because I got 4Ks of both of those in quite recently. And X-Ray said next stream, Red's worst comments. Well, was it just me? Am I being too sensitive or was that too critical? I mean, you guys feel free to tell me. I mean, he's become strangely quiet and I lost one person, so maybe I pissed him off. I don't know, but I try not to come into people's live streams and be critical about what they're talking about or how long they're talking about something, because nobody's holding a gun to my head and nobody's holding a gun to his head. I'm assuming, and making them stay in for a stream. So if you think a stream's too long or going on too long, then bow out. That's all you got to do. Durkee say, I will be joining y'all for the Eurocult next Sunday. It's been crazy lately between working and hunting. Feels like 2 jobs. Well, that's cool. Actually, I guess we won't be doing it this Sunday, Dirk, because we did one last Sunday, this past Sunday. And I know because we took two Sundays off in a row, I think. And I think that's where things went a little bit sideways. But, it's Steve's show pretty much, so I kind of have to go along with what he does. But, so we had one this past Sunday. We won't be having one this Sunday, but the following Sunday we will be having one. And Darren, I know, did a wild card. And we're going to be doing Alice Sweet Alice. So if you want to get geared up for that, then that'll be awesome. TJ, you said 1987 slasher trailer. Watch along on Dead Pit at 10, by the way. Oh, and Dana, if you do more than one Christmas movie, I'd like to recommend Night of the Comet. I think I've got a watch along for, I think, the first Sunday in December. We're already set up to do Night of the Comet. So you're in luck, TJ, because we are definitely going to be doing that one. Plus, there'll probably be a whole variety of other Christmas horror movies to do in December for Saturdays. Dirk, you say those are both bangers, Dana. Well, thank you, Dirk. Texas, you say he was trolling. Well, he must troll a lot because, like, he'll come in and say off the wall things, but that was kind of blatant. And I've had a kind of rough and stressful day today, and that just kind of hit me wrong. Dirty say, was watching Poltergeist with my 5-year-old. He got scared a bit. Funny, it did the same to me at that age. If I had watched it at 5 years old, it probably would have me too. I think I was a little bit older I'm pretty sure I was quite a bit older when I watched it for the first time. But even now, some of it, like, it doesn't scare me, but it kind of gives me the creepy crawlies a little bit. You said there's some weirdo fucks on YouTube, Dana. Evidently, there's some weirdo, insane people all over the place. I'm not saying Red's insane. I'm not saying he's weird either. It's just, I don't know where some of the off-the-wall comments come from. Darren, you say Christmas Eve will watch along near Christmas, maybe? Yep, we could certainly do that. I'm going to have at least 4 different, Saturdays that month. But here's the thing. Here's the little quandary I've got, guys. I kind of wanted to do New Year's Evil for New Year's Eve because I don't think Steve's going to hang out and do anything with me on New Year's Eve because he was not receptive to it at all last year. He's kind of lost his zest for not really partying, but for staying up late and doing all that. So, we don't have to do it like it started at midnight or around midnight or to end on midnight or anything like that. I can definitely, if enough of you would be interested in me doing a New Year's Evil watch along on New Year's Eve, about 7, maybe 8 o'clock, probably 7. But if a lot of you are going to be partying, living it up, doing different things, then that is cool. We could wait on up until January and just do it then. But I just kind of wanted to see what y'all thought about that time slot. If you would rather me do it on New Year's Eve, or would you want me to wait? Because so many people probably be partying and stuff on New Year's Eve. Dark, you say you're nicer than me, Dana. I have choice words for haters. Well, I could have said a lot of things, but and on another night it might have not pushed my buttons. But he's been saying stuff on and off over time, and usually I just let it go. But this time it really, really kind of pushed my buttons. TJ, you say, I watched it at 10, Dirk, so I can't relate. LOL. That's like me. I was older. Dirk, you say, Maniac is probably my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And that technically is a Christmas movie. You're right, Dirk. TJ, you say, I'd be into a comet watch along, joining in the stream. That's cool, TJ. That is awesome. Darren, you say, count me in, New Year's Evil. Would you want it? Would it be okay for you to do it on New Year's Eve, Darren, or would you like me to wait till later in January maybe to do it? I mean, there's no rule that says we got to do it on New Year's Eve. I just, or anybody else that, you know, is interested in New Year's Eve will watch along and wants to weigh in on when I should do it. Should I do it on New Year's Eve or should I wait and do it later in January? Brandon, you need to rest, buddy. So Darren's a yay. Yes, be cool to do it New Year's Eve. Does anybody else have any, you know, suggestions, alterations? You know, what you know, feel free to throw that in the chat. If I don't hear anything, you know, negative, Dougie said, how do you feel about Terror Train, about doing a watch along for it? I probably wouldn't do that one New Year's Eve, but I would consider doing it the first of maybe the first Sunday in January, maybe, because technically Terror Train is a New Year's movie. You know, and like I said, one of the big reasons I want to do something on New Year's Eve is because I don't envision Steve wanting to do anything with me this year, as he has not the last couple of years. So we used to stay up till midnight and drink, you know. Now I just get that fancy Welch's grape juice in the bottle that looks like a wine or champagne bottle, and I just drink that. And you know, I'll get a meat and cheese tray and all that. And that's usually what I do. And Steve used to participate in that with me, and we would kiss at midnight on New Year's. But now I'm just going to let him go. I'm going to let him do his thing. If he wants to go to bed early, I'm not even going to wake him up and say, hey, it's almost midnight. I'm just not going to bother him. I'm going to do my own thing. And that will be that. Danny said, Terror Train would be cool too. Write these down, Dana. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I will do that because, you know, my memory's not as good as it once was. It's definitely not. But, you know, guys, I mean, I'm not really opposed to a double feature, but I don't know. I almost think that might be too much for all of us to do New Year's Evil and Terror Train on the same night. I mean, I guess I could attempt it if you guys want to, but I just thought it might be a little less chaotic if I spaced them out. He said, have you watched Hereditary, Data? I'm not trolling, I promise. I have not rewatched it yet, Dirk. I'll be honest. And I know you're not trolling. I know you're asking just because you're curious. Darren, you say, yeah, I do one a night. So I'm thinking, isn't New Year's Eve, is it on a Saturday this time? Because if so, we could do New Year's Evil on the Saturday and Terror Train on the Sunday. Don't want to do that. Bloody New Year. Well, you know, that would probably make for a good watch along. I don't think I want to watch that movie again without doing a watch along or a commentary, because is it just me or does that movie seem extra boring? But, I can write that one down. And like I said, I would not be opposed to doing a watch along for it a Saturday in January. TJ, you say Eve is a Saturday. Yep. Okay. Thank you, TJ. There you say, I'm just throwing shit at the wall. LOL. No, but that's good. Like I said, I just don't envision myself like, I always had this idea. See, Bloody New Year was one of those that had really awesome cover arts. Everybody remember that cover art and that poster for it? But then when you watch it, it's like, this is so bizarre and so weird. But I think it would make a great watch along. It's just not really conducive to me just sitting down and watching it without, having people in here to help me make fun of it or whatever. Darren, you said Bloody New Year was filmed a few miles from me. It's not the best. Was it really filmed a few miles from you, Darren? That's awesome. TJ says, was it a real island, Darren? But yeah, I've definitely got that one. So I've got New Year's Evil, Terror Train, and Bloody New Year. And like I said, we'll do New Year's Evil Saturday. We'll do Terror Train Sunday. And we'll do Bloody New Year one of the remaining Saturdays in January. It was called Barry Island. Jaws the Revenge, Dirk. Is Jaws the Revenge? Is that? I'm just asking. Does that have anything to do with New Year or anything? I can't remember, but I'll write it down. We could definitely do a watch along for it at some point. And you go regularly. Cool. TJ said, man, the year is almost over. Maybe not soon enough. LOL. Yep, it's New Year's. Awesome. Okay. So we have, because we'll have 4 Saturdays. So we've got enough to do like 3 different Saturdays because we're going to do Terror Train on the Sunday. That you guys could pick one more. It doesn't necessarily have to be New Year's if we've run out of New Year's movies. And I'll write that one down. But after that, we probably got the month full unless I want to pick another Sunday to do one of these on. I can't believe Brandon's not asleep yet. I think he did sleep a little bit here by my desk, but he's still kind of pacing around. I think Steve's went to bed now. But I just tell you, the way I talk to Red, I mean, I don't think I was really nasty to him, but people are going to think I'm a real bitch because I used to wouldn't say anything about somebody could say anything to me and I wouldn't say anything. But now things some people say to me and the way they say them just kind of irk me. And I feel like I need to say something. I mean, because like this is my damn stream. And I hate to keep going on about it, but I wasn't saying anything bad about anybody. All I was on here was talking about movies, and he pops off with this kind of stuff, and I just kind of went off a little bit because I'm trying to concentrate, trying to talk about movies and stuff like that, and he basically wants to browbeat me for talking too long about something. I mean, It may be, TJ. Let me write that one down. That would be a good one, too. Darky said, I haven't seen it, but a German torture flick from 2007, Steel Trap. Ooh, I haven't seen it either, but let me, I'll try to find a copy of it. Perhaps Steve's got it on the hard drive somewhere. Yes, Darren, I believe Steve is going to be on the Dead Pit show tomorrow for the Black Friday sale. Oh, thank you, John. You say, thank you, Dana. You're doing great. Darren, you say, I got the DVD of Steel Trap Dirt, but never seen it. Turkey say, I'll hurt people's feelings. I'm pretty reserved till someone crosses the line. Well, like I said, with Red, most of what he says, I kind of take it with a grain of salt, and I just don't, most of the time he comes up with just kind of off the wall sounding stuff. But then when he starts like saying stuff about the length of my streams and how I'm handling myself on the streams, yeah, I know I'm not a professional. I just get on here and talk like I'm talking to friends, like you guys are my friends. And, just like I would talk to anybody else that's my friend, I get on here and I just talk normally. I open my mouth and stuff comes out. I'm not doing this and making money or anything like that at this point. I'm just on here doing this because I enjoy it. Sorry, guys, I was looking at Brandon. I enjoy, interacting with people and doing all this stuff. I'm not doing it for any other reason other than that. And to help me keep my sanity and keep my spirits up and all that. TJ said there's a lousy gay slasher, Midnight Kiss, that's on New Year's. LOL. I don't recommend it, however. Do you think we could do a watch along over at TJ that would be interesting? Darren says TJ never heard of that one. But guys, let's see. Dirt says, this is your passion. It's not scripted. People see through the bullshitters. Yeah, not scripted. That's a good way to put it, Dirt. But guys, I have had a lot of fun tonight. I hope that you guys enjoyed this installment of my dinner with the Palma. And I hope you didn't mind my short rant at the beginning, for those of you that heard it, or for those of you that watch this later and are privy to that rant. I do apologize for it in advance. But I do hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope those of you that wanted to participate in the box lunch portion were able to. And I want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Eat a bunch of turkey or ham or whatever's your pleasure. Have a good time with family or not, if you'd rather be by yourself. TJ, I hope things go well. I know you said that you were cooking Thanksgiving dinner for everybody, so that's awesome and no easy feat. I know that. So everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. This coming Saturday, we will be doing a Thanksgiving watch along. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything else. More than likely, I will not be doing anything tomorrow for Thanksgiving. But you can tune in to Dead Pit for their Black Friday extravaganza. And as far as I know, Steve will be on that, or Captain B Plan, whatever you want to call him. You have a good one too, Darren. TJ said, I remember not thinking it was great. Good night, all. Good night, TJ. Dougie said, take care, everyone, and make a wish. Definitely, yes. TJ says, happy Turkey Day. And he says, the pies are done. Awesome. Happy Thanksgiving, Texas, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody else. And on that note, green bean casserole with venison. That does sound good, Dirk. And on that note, I'm going to skedaddle on out of here for the night. And I will see everyone on the flip side. Y'all have a good night now. And happy Thanksgiving.